Today is a versatile day. Today is a Versys day. David versus Goliath. Tourer versus Softail. Big bike versus little bike. But today is the day when I ride that. That is a Kawasaki Versys 1000. That is the S model. I've been riding around this morning on a miserable morning, and I'm going to tell you what I think. So as you know, I'm thinking about either upstaging my Harley or changing it for a different bike entirely. Whether I stick with the Harley or go with another brand, I want a bike with touring capability and definitely commuting capability. And I'm looking at different sorts of bikes, different styles and everything, but essentially it's got to have those quality: commuting, touring capability, and a comfort as well, and also higher spec, but also value for money as well. When I rode the Suzuki V-Strom a couple of weeks ago, I told you I thought it was one of the best value ADV bikes out there, and I also said the Kawasaki Versys is one of those as well. If you're ever thinking about a big ADV bike and you're going to do more road focus, have a look at this as well. But really, enough of that. All I'm going to do now, I'm going to get on the bike, ride it, have fun on it, even though it's a miserable day. Have fun on it, and then I'll let you know what I think. Right, let's get on with it. The verdict on the Versys. I'll tell you what, that is a really, really fantastic bike. Fantastic, I would say. I'm really, really impressed. Bear in mind, it's a crappy day today, right? You know, weather-wise. But this is just handling fantastic. You're really high up, you really are sitting up above the traffic, let's say, but it doesn't feel that top heavy. It's really planted on the road. It's more road focused, you know, with the road wheels on it as well. You know, it doesn't have that vagueness on the road, let's say, like some of the other big ADVs have sometimes, especially if they're more the off-road variants. This is a road variant, of course, or this is the only variant that they do. So it's perfectly on the road. It's just that you're high up a little bit. Now, the Kawasaki Versys 1000 basically comes in three different models. You've got the Versys 1000, which is the base level. Then you've got the Versys 1000 S, which is basically the base model, but with electronics package on top, quick shifter, TFT screen, all that kind of stuff. Then on top of that, you've got the Versys 1000 SE, which is basically the S, but then you've got electronic suspension on top of it. Within each bike, the standard, the S or the SE, you've got, I believe it's three different variants again. So you can either have the bike as it is completely, either the standard, the S or the SE. Then you can have a tour package on it. So the touring version is just with side boxes, and then you think you got the grand touring version, which is the side boxes, top box, and also you'll have spotlights and a few other extras as well. That's the kind of variant that I'd be looking for. It would be the top of the range, the SE, with the side boxes, with the top box, you know, everything else. Why not? Why wouldn't you go for it? Especially if I'm looking for a touring kind of bike, right? Let me just talk about this bike and the way I ride it. So I've tried it in all the different modes, right? Rain, road, it's got a sport mode as well, which is, you know, which is good as well. And then you've got a customizable rider mode, which you can set it up to your personal preferences. I usually don't ride around in rain mode because I think it's just too dulled down. I think on this, it tones down the power by about 20-30%. I'm not 100% sure on that. However, I've got to say that the rain mode on this bike is excellent. It doesn't seem as if it's toned it down too much. It's still got pep in the throttle response. Not as much as in road or certainly as in sport, but it's still there. It's possibly the best match rain mode for my style riding, which I want a little bit more, you know, for throttle response, than any other bike that I've ridden. And that's the honest truth. In terms of ADV bikes, I've never said that ADV bikes of any shape are good looking bikes. But I've got to say, that is probably, from the profile here, that's probably one of the best ones I've seen. It looks really good. To me, in my eyes, it looks really good. 1000cc, plenty of power. It is high revving. You do feel as if you're revving it a lot. But again, I'm coming off a Harley, which is, you know, low revs and everything. So my hearing is not tuned in to riding these bikes anymore. But as I say, I'm riding a lot more of these 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, you know, high revving bikes now. And, you know, it kind of gets used to, and you think, am I in a low gear? I should be, you know, maybe I need to step it up. And then you realise you're in 6th gear and you're doing 60, 70 miles an hour. But you realise it's got so much more life left. Torque, it's got loads of torque. You know, any gear it pulls away, it's brilliant. And it's got all the traction control and all that sort of stuff. It's got cruise control, which works great as well. Now, this screen is adjustable, but it's manually adjustable, not electronic. But the thing is, most of these bikes, you set it once and you very rarely change it. So that works for me. Hand guards it's got heated grips. Both boxes, the side boxes, which you'd have, and the top box can take a full-size helmet. The guy said that in the top box it will take 2 full-size helmets, and the side boxes will take 1 full-size helmet. This is really interesting from Kawasaki. This is where you put the boxes on. They clip into here, right? But the same boxes, it has the same mechanism on the Ninja bikes as well, and the H2 bikes as well. So basically, let's just say if you had a couple of bikes, right, a couple of Kawasaki's, you only need to buy 1 set of boxes. You can just fit them on whichever bike you want. You know, I've never been a one brand bike. I look at the bike and I see which is going to be best for me. I know for a big ADV bike, I'm not going to use it for much off-roading anymore. I used to, and I put them through their paces, but I just realized they're the wrong type of bike for me to ride serious off-road. Farm tracks, trails, you know, hard compacted trails, this would be fine. There's no problem. Like most bikes will be able to do that, no problem. But anything serious, I'm never going to use it anyway. So having a more road focused ADV style bike, but with great touring capability, works for me brilliantly. Comfortable for me. I'm just over 6 foot and it works great. The wind deflection is really good as well. I think that's set on the highest setting, and the wind is just coming up above my helmet there as well. So that works really well. All I would say is that you are sat up a little bit higher. Possibly for me, I would just raise the handlebars just a little bit, but maybe put a block in there just to raise it up. And it's just sort of standard stuff there. Just put a spacer in here and away I go. This is where you can mount your GPS as well. That TFT screen is really visible as well. Yeah, look, here's the knobs, and then you can just raise it or lower it as you wish. If, let's say, I decide to go this way in terms of touring type bike, commuter type bike, all year round type bike, that is definitely now in contention because of the value, what you can get spec wise on it, the value. And I actually think it's a better bike, now I'm thinking about it, than the Suzuki that I rode in terms of the overall package, right? That Suzuki was great, don't get me wrong, but I think this looks better. I think it rides better. It just feels better. I like the engine better on the Suzuki, you know, the sound of it, the feel of it. But overall, Kawasaki have done a great bike here, I think. So if you're thinking about an ADV bike, but you think you're going to ride more on the road, try these out for a start. That's all I'd say. Try these out for a start. For me, I just don't think it's going to be my kind. I've got a feeling that I'd get quite bored of this after a while, and that's just me. I don't know why. There's just something in my head as I'm riding along. I just don't think it's going to hold my attention for that long. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but there's just something missing in it. It's hard to say, because I'm saying it's a fantastic bike. It's a great bike. It ticks all the boxes, But I just think to myself, yeah, there's something missing, and maybe it's just that fun aspect. And the problem is I'm riding it on a crappy day as well, so I'm not being able to get the full fun out of it, if you know what I mean. But if I had to have my sensible head on, I would definitely go for something like this with all the tour pack and the boxes and everything like that. It's a tour bike, you know, you really are having to cock your leg over. It's a tour bike, you are sat up high on the road, you know, you're dominating the road and all that sort of stuff. Great visibility, it handles really great, suspension's really great, braking's really great. So I can't understand why I'm being a bit dismissive of it, but at the same time, you can't, I always say I got to go with that gut feeling. That gut feeling says I really like it, it's a fantastic bike, and if I was looking as a sort of second bike all year round bike, or a bike that is my commuter bike and not the bike that I want to go and have a bit of, you know, motorcycle therapy on, if you know what I mean, that's the bike or kind of bike that I would be looking for. But if I'm looking just for one bike that's gonna give me fun, enjoyment and everything like that, that's close, but it isn't it. That isn't it. And that's, you know, all I can say really. Listen, I'm going to go ride this a little bit more, give it a bit of a full testing. But listen, like I say, for some people, this would be a fantastic bike. And I think for me, it would be a fantastic bike as well. But I just think it's missing something. I can't put my finger on it either. It's just missing something. If you want to do, you know, any kind of off-road on it, like say like on that Suzuki, or you know, like a BMW or a Triumph, or you know, that's a Pan America Harley Davidson, you go for those. You know, don't go for this because this is more road focus. But if you're thinking, no, I'm going to do mostly road, I'm very rarely going to go off-road, save yourself a few quid, go for something like that. Right, that's all I would say. Or certainly go and try it out. Go and try it out. But for me, I just think I'm probably thinking, if I am going more tourer, I think I'm going to go more conventional tourer rather than that. If I'm going to go for an ADV style, for me, even though I'm not going to do a lot of off-road, I would go for something more off-road focused as well, like a Harley Pan America, like that Suzuki V-Strom, whatever, like the BMW GSs, whatever it is, the Triumphs, whatever it is, I would go for more that than this. Anyway, listen, just my thoughts. I'm just doing this so I can remember what I'm thinking when I eventually make my decision which way I'm going to go, whether I stick with my Harley, upstage it, or whether I go for a different type of bike with more touring capability, or certainly stuff that, you know, I can put loads of stuff on. But anyway, let us know your thoughts on this. If you've owned one, if you've ridden one, let us know what you think. And I'm sure I've missed loads of stuff. As I say, these are not reviews. This is purely just showing your bike, giving you my thoughts, and well, having a bit of fun on it. I'll catch you again. Ta-da.